These two guys get all kinds of very sweet, loving moments. I get a millisecond. I
Yep.
get 1 millisecond of
Have you
loving.
even seen Have you even seen your show? You get more than a millisecond, mate.
I just get to be pissed off.
I am the vampire Lestat. It's my era. I'm a rock star now.
As the title says, it's the Vampire Lestat season, and Sam Reed is doing great work with all the singing, dancing, and stage persona. But what about your characters? What can we expect from Louis, Daniel, and Armand this season? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll like Lestat, or something else?
Something like that. I mean,
Well,
like,
unlike these two guys, Daniel is part of the entourage. So Daniel gets to enjoy the perks of being part of a tour and be on the tour bus, which involves, when we want to get high, we suck blood out of people who are high. And so that's part of what I get to do. I get to do a little bit of that and just generally live the rock and roll life, which is kind of disgusting, actually. I don't know about you guys. You don't do these things in this season, do you? You don't do the rock and roll thing.
Armand is on his own path, rock and roll journey. He's not been invited on the bus, so he has to find his own bus and his
Armand's
own drugs
never
and rock and roll.
invited.
He's never invited. Yeah, he's on it. He's in a completely different kind of trajectory, but in an interesting way. It's interesting to see how the parallels and the differences to Rockstar and someone who's lost a little bit.
For our audience, the Vampire Lestat is an absolutely wild ride, but I wonder about your perspective. Was working on this season a different experience than before?
Yes, it was a hugely different experience, I think, for all of us. It's a fresh new take, fresh new voice, a voice that has a completely different dynamic to that of Louis in the first two seasons. So yeah, we're following a rock star, a rock god, and the show kind of morphs into what we would believe Lestat's psyche would be, and that's mad, chaotic. It's a roller coaster, and yeah, it's a very different energy, but really exciting.
This season relies on the first two seasons so that you know what's happening to all these people. And then it starts bringing in all these other characters, like how many? 7 new characters from the other Anne Rice stories. And so it starts getting more and more complicated. And then it starts building these little side storylines that make it even more and more complicated. So you kind of have to know what's been happening so far, but if you do, then it starts to become a very thick and complex stew as this season builds. And of course, we've all shifted a little bit. Certainly my character is a vampire now, so he's a different guy. Although in the mythology of our show, what is it? I have transformational trauma. I'm traumatized by becoming a vampire. So it's not easy for me to be a vampire, which makes sense. I think I would find it hard to be a vampire. But it was hard for Louis to become a vampire too. We don't know what happened with Armand way in the beginning, but Louis struggled. You didn't want to kill anybody, right, in the beginning?
they all have transformational trauma, or like, when they're turned, it's almost always under really upsetting circumstances. And then they have to like just keep on living. It's a really beautiful metaphor for trauma, I think, this show, and for the human capacity to endure and to try and like work through that trauma.
Everything dies. You die, I die.
I'm immortal.
Eric, what is it like to finally be undead like your colleagues? Feeling some pressure, or is it a relief that Daniel is no more the only mortal in the room?
Well, for me personally, it's a dream come true. I've wanted to play a vampire for a long time, ever since I saw Dracula on Broadway in 1977. In fact, just before I got this job, I was thinking, like, what is left that I haven't done that I would like to do? And it's like, well, I never got to play a vampire. I really want to. And the next day I got the phone call. So for me, I love being able to have these powers, or play a character who has these powers. For Daniel, it's pretty confusing. Daniel is an older guy who is not been well, and now he's well, but now he's a vampire. I don't think he was made a vampire because he wanted to be a vampire. It's kind of against his will. So he's kind of angry. He's angry at this whole bunch, all of them. He's angry at all of them. And he ends up butting heads with Lestat throughout this season. That's pretty much my motivation. That's pretty much Daniel's motivation through this season. These two guys get all kinds of very sweet, loving moments in the course of the season, but I don't get any of those. I'm not
What?
allowed. I get a millisecond. I get 1 millisecond of
Have
loving.
you even seen? Have you even seen your show? You got more than a millisecond, mate.
I just get to be pissed off. You know, I don't know what college is like in Poland, but in the United States, you've got the guy who's what they call the big man on campus. And in this season, the big man on campus is Lestat. And then you've got the guy who works for the school newspaper who is always trying to write things about the big man on campus and take him down a notch. And that's who Daniel is. I'm the nerdy, unpleasant guy who's trying to keep up with these fast-paced, good-looking vampires that I have to be around all the time and look at them all the time. They're so pretty. But none of this is really coming from my heart. I actually love these guys.
Did you know that Daniel is very popular in Poland, I hear?
Oh, yeah. Eric is very popular in Poland. Did you hear about that?
You all guys are very popular in Poland.
Oh, good, good. We're all popular in Poland. That's good. You guys haven't been to Poland, though. I've been to Poland. And have you ever been to Poland, Jacob? Poland is an amazing, amazing country. You have been. Okay. It's just incredible. It was like overwhelming when I went to understand how big this place is and how rich it is and the farmlands. And also the Polish people are like amazing people. You know, they rebuilt Warsaw after the war without any help from anybody else. They collected all their money and they rebuilt this city and made it look the way it looked before the war after it had been leveled. It's a pretty interesting place, which I had no knowledge of until I went there. Anyway, this has nothing to do with anything. Just trying to get on your good side here so you'll write nice things about me.
It's all true. You are all welcome here.
I also worked with a wonderful Polish-American. She comes from Poland, Dagmara Domańczyk. I worked with a long time ago. She was on Succession during the season. She's an amazing actress, just wonderful, one of the most beautiful women in the world, and I really enjoyed working with her.